Hello, my name is Lisa Robinson, and I'm here to deliver an important message. I'm addressing you openly with my face unmasked and without concealing my identity for a reason. In 2013, a man named Aaron Swartz committed suicide, a fully preventable and unnecessary tragedy brought on by constant psychological persecution by the authorities in power. But who was Aaron? Nicknamed the Internet's own boy, he was the co-founder of Demon Progress, a social news and entertainment website which helped shine a light on information intentionally hidden from the public view. On January 6 of 2011, Aaron Swartz was arrested and sentenced to 35 years of prison for an alleged crime with no real victims. He was accused of using MIT's computer network to access and download many scholarly articles from an academic database called GSTOR. What happened to him truly scared me. That's why at first I wanted to keep my identity hidden. But the action and bravery of the whistleblower Julian Assange made me realize that courage was necessary in order to spread truth message fair and wide. I am not an Afrikaner, but want to use the power of my voice to protest against the inaction of the South African government towards the educational system of the young Afrikaners from kindergarten to higher education. South Africa has a tremendous gap between people that have access to educational and economic resources and those who don't. Since the end of apartheid in 1990, the ANC political party has failed its most underprivileged citizen, even though South African youth have protested many times in order to be heard. There is an inherent unfairness which illustrates major differences between schools in different neighborhoods. Schools in the townships have no science laboratories or computer classes, while Model C schools have limitless access to media centers or libraries. Unfortunately, those differences are also evidenced at university entrance exams. After the end of apartheid, people thought that democracy would bring the kind of progress that many people died and fought for during decades. But the sad truth is now today in South Africa, there is a lack of resources and facilities such as building classrooms and even bathrooms, in addition to a shortage of textbooks, school supplies, and teaching materials. Because of years and years of educational problems, Afrikaners are ill prepared to enter the job market or start a business, and this in turn leads to dire economic consequences. Quite simply, the South African government has failed those at the greatest socio-economic disadvantage, particularly and acutely in the educational sphere. The government can't possibly continue to turn a deaf ear. Protesters have tried to stay peaceful, but all the protests turned into riots. A few years ago, during a protest, riot police was called in, and students were shot with stun grenades and rubber bullets, and one of them died. While supposedly 20% of the national budget is spent on the education, we have never seen a dime of this money. Things are going to change, and we are sick and tired of waiting. That's why we have decided to do something about the government's inaction and corruption. We are going to take matters into our own hands. By tomorrow morning, my team and I will release a malware program which is going to hijack your system. Then we will use military encryption data packets that will flood your server by DDoS. And you won't be able to do anything about it. No sense in trying to improve your firewall. We have already implemented a root crypt program that will allow us to go undetected even by your most high qualified computer scientist. We are not hacking the government because we are thieves, criminals, or terrorists, but because we stand for justice. Everyone deserves a quality education, even when the government does not seem to want to provide it. We will find the money that the government is supposed to spend on education, and then we will distribute it to Trevor Noah's foundation, which we'll use for real education purposes only. His foundation will give an opportunity to students that are seen as ignorant, incompetent, and not interested to access to a higher education. The foundation is going to bridge the gap between children and a good education, between educators and a good funding, and between the education given and the job that children really deserve. Even if the educational problems is hard to solve, our help to the foundation is going to bridge a large gap and ultimately make a difference. I know that some of you see us as hackers, but we consider ourselves whistleblowers. And yeah, in fact, what it comes down is that we actually stand for something. We want justice, freedom, and equal education. That's why we are hacktivists.